on this side. Yes?
Yeah, hi, Miss Crosby. Welcome to Atlanta.
Thank you.
I had a question about the Next Generation during the first season. Who was really running the show? Was it Gene Roddenberry? Was it Rick Berman? There seemed to be a huge turnover of staff at the end of the first season. You know, like D.C. Fontana, Bob Justman,
Right.
A lot of people, and I've never really heard, you know, what was really going on. Do you know? Can you tell us?
Well, Gene really was running the show. I mean, that was his, you know, his baby, and let's not, you know, mistake the fact that he was the creator. It was very hard to find writers that one could write the genre and maintain, you know, the stamina with which it takes to write a show like that, 36 episodes. You know, boom, boom, boom. It was really difficult, and so there were a lot of writer changes. The executives remained intact, but the first year of the show really had a lot of growing pains and a lot of figuring out what it was and how this was gonna play out. So I think, and that's often the case with any first-year show. It really takes a season to get your legs a little bit, find out what do you got here. So I think that was what was going on. Yeah, how about this side? No? No questions? Who else? Oh yes, you've been so patient. These are Lakers. Your Lakers colors.
I actually don't need my
You can.
First of all, I love your character. Tough chicks are so incredibly hot.
Thank you.
And I was really, really sad to see Norm killed off, and there was a lot of rumors or whatever about why that was done. And I was happy to see you come back as all the various incarnations. But I'm kind of curious, like, for me, Star Trek The Next Generation was the last true incarnation of Roddenberry's dream. I really didn't see Voyager and Deep Space Nine or Enterprise in the same light as Next Gen. What do you think of all the later incarnations of Star Trek?
Well, I mean, I have a lot of respect for the shows and everything that followed. Of course, Gene wasn't around, you know, at that point, so it really doesn't have his you know, stamp and his voice in the shows. But I mean, I think they all hold their ground. Everybody has, you know, different favorites that they like, and that's good. You know, that's what it's about. But I think that they all have, you know, great qualities about them. So yeah, I like them. I mean, I think Enterprise was sort of coming back around too, and getting some good writing and good storylines, and from what I've seen, I mean, I thought it took a bold step actually, and was very interesting in what they were doing with it. But you know, I think it'd be really interesting now to see if they kind of change over, and J.J. Abrams maybe takes a stab at it, and you know, brings a different vision from a different place into it. I think it was starting to feel a little, you know, factory-like, and that should never happen that way. You know, that should have never happened. Yes.
Hi. First, I wanted to say I really appreciated how respectful Trekkies was, the movies, to the fan base. It wasn't like a geek show. watching it. I really enjoyed that aspect of it. And another aspect that I really enjoy about meeting people like you, like celebrities of my favorite shows, is learning about the group dynamics of working with a cast. Do you have any really funny stories or cool stories or things that we would be really surprised to learn about some of the people you work with?
Wow. Well, you know, one of the great parts of the whole experience of working on the Next Gen was that camaraderie and that friendship that we all shared. It was, you know, it was all common ground. It wasn't like one person, although Patrick certainly exuded, he certainly had more experience and was a more experienced actor, so, and just generated that kind of thing. But I mean, there was never that feeling of, you know, well, you're better than me or I'm better than you, and it was really a loving bunch of people that were thrown together in this thing that none of us knew what it was about. There was a lot of hostility at first. There was a lot of you know, rumors floating around that, you know, how could you possibly make another Star Trek? This is blasphemous, and this is, you know, horrible. It's going to fail miserably. And we were just wondering, you know, what is all of this about? You know, what is people really take this stuff seriously? You know, we were just happy to, you know, have a job as actors, and you know, it was all kind of, those early shows were just so funny because we didn't know how to work any of this stuff, and you know, we press all these buttons all the time on the panels, until finally Michael Okuda came over and, you know, said, I believe by then you will only have to push one button. Oh, you're right, you're probably right, okay. You know, I would be working and all this stuff, and you'd say, and you know, and soon by the you know, number of seasons go by, Data would just go, and I remember pulling out my phaser and dropping it, and I used to go like, and you know, they would say, don't make that sound. Oh no, oh that's right, I know, you're gonna put that in later, right, okay. But it was really hard to just go, like you're shooting, you know? As a kid, you always go, pew, pew, you know? Like that's what a laser is, you know, a phaser is going to sound like. So, you know, it was just silly stuff, and we were given the most awful trailers, you know, dressing rooms. They were just, they must have dug them up from some back lot in Bakersfield, you know, and they smelled like cat pee inside, and, you know, they just were brown and drab and tiny, and we started stealing props out of the big prop storage at the Paramount lot and decorating them all. And before you knew it, we had AstroTurf in front of the trailers, and pink flamingos and lawn chairs and Christmas lights and tinsel and, you know, weird plastic flowers and things, and it looked, you know, like some really bizarre psycho trailer park, you know? And then they got mad at us and made us take it all down. And, you know, so we were really bonding, you know, under this kind of situation. We had a craft service guy. I don't know if you guys know, but, you know, while you're working, you have a little table that always has coffee and tea and water and supposedly food, you know,